Live from the House of LeMay Makeup and Dressing Room.
Here comes Amber. Stop what you're doing. Here comes Amber. She's just doing what she can. Here comes Amber. Cue the spotlight. Here comes Amber with 2 drinks in her hand. The matriarch of fashion, secret sewer glasses, you can't look away. Ask her, does she do it? There's really nothing to it. She's got that feminine game. If you have a party, or if you're feeling naughty, call up the House of LeMay. Here comes your favorite gal. Here comes your queen. Here comes your talk of the town. And we're live tonight. The music starts playing. It's time for cabareting on Amber Live tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, please turn off all cell phones and get ready for your host, Amber LeMay.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy July 3rd, everyone. Well, tonight we're off watching fireworks. So we're bringing you some best stuff, but some new material as well. Now, you know what? We have over 800 clips on our YouTube channel. Yeah, over 800. And I was wondering, what's the most popular one? Which one has been viewed the most? Well, one of my items from one of my headlines show has been seen over 19,000 times. Let's watch it. It's well known that American conservatives are afraid of vaginas. It's the only thing Republicans want government regulations on. But this is apparently true in other countries as well. Conservatives in Brazil are upset about a 33-meter, that's about 36 yards to us Americans, concrete-enforced vulva. It's titled Diva, and it's an art installation by Brazilian visual artist Juliana Notari. Concrete-enforced? That's got to be the toughest pussy in the world. Even Trump wouldn't be able to grab that one. And it's got no pubic hair, so definitely Brazilian. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, which episode has been watched the most on YouTube? And, you know, there's been a lot of them. There's been like 110, 11, 12. I forget how many we've done. But there was one that's been watched the most, and it was a great show with DC Glenn and Misconception. Yeah, and the thing was, DC Glenn had just finished his Geico commercial. You mean, you know, the one where he goes, sprinkles? Well, look what he did for us.
Before I go.
Yes.
Sprinkle! I'll end on that. You guys, hey, y'all have a great evening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Right, thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, DC. Thank you, Kevin. All right, we've got some other great material tonight. We've got an update on our good friend Jen Ellis. She's the one who made the mittens for Bernie back in the inauguration. Yeah. And then we've got a look back at one of our guests that we truly, truly loved who passed away last week, and the Clela Rorex. So we've got that interview to show you again tonight. But there's also so much more. So let's bring Russell in to talk about it.
Hey, Amber, how are you?
Hey, Russell, are the fireworks going off at your house?
No, not tonight. We actually, Astoria does their fireworks on the 29th. So they're actually going off tonight while we're recording this.
Oh, okay.
And then we may hear them during Amber Chat tonight. And then Macy's does the 4th of July. So that's the huge one here. So Astoria doesn't want to compete with Macy's, so they do theirs early.
Well, we have ours in Burlington. In Burlington, we have ours on the 3rd of July. So that's where I'm going to be on Sunday, watching those down on Cousin Craig's boat. That's where I'll be. All right, Russell. So tell people what's the best way to watch the show tonight.
Well, the best way to watch, as always, is on YouTube. And we recommend you watch there because if you watch there, everything's in 1080, which is full HD instead of 720. And so YouTube's a great place to watch. Plus, a lot of your friends will be on there in the YouTube chat. So you can talk with them about the show and send us messages during the show. And then I want to remind everyone we have a great TikTok channel, Instagram, Facebook, and even our website at amberlive.tv. There's so much to watch. And if you can't see the show on YouTube, if you can't watch it, if you're driving, if you're out for a walk and you just want to listen, we're putting the interviews up on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Anchor, all the different places that you can find podcasts. So there's just a lot of different ways to see Amber live and enjoy the fun.
Oh, I guess so. And I know you have another announcement as well.
I always do, and that's the bustiers. So we need everybody to help us out if they can and support us. And you'll see that we have a lot of bustiers there from this year. And if you use that Venmo at RJD Pro, you can send your support our way, or you can go to amberlive.tv. And as many of you know, we have different levels. You can give whatever you can for support, but if you give $25 or more, we'll send you a sticker. If we've got $100 or more, you get a sticker and a magnet. And for $200 or more, a sticker, a magnet, and a mug. And that, again, is at that Venmo RJD Pro. And thank you to all of our bustiers. You really do help keep us going and growing here and help keep the show becoming what it is, the 112 episodes of Amber Live.
Wow. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Okay. Also, Russell, I already mentioned that we have Jen Ellis coming back on with a new interview. And then we've got our tribute to Clela Rorex as well. And do we have anything else on tonight's show?
Oh, we have so much more tonight. We are going to have a visit from Duane Scott Cerny with Amber's Crazy in the Attic, our good friend from Chicago. He's got an unboxing for us tonight, so it'll be something even he doesn't know what it is till he opens it. And then we've got, we'll spend a little bit of time with Rusty Peen, and we'll have some summer sweaty balls again. You know how we like the sweaty balls.
Yes.
And then, of course, you know who's going to show up? Rocco.
Oh, good. I always love seeing Rocco, so I'm sure he'll have some good news for us of some sort.
Something. And I know a lot of people are telling him that they want him to do some more of those drive-through reviews. I'm not sure that's what we're getting this week, but I've told him that's what you're asking for. So hopefully we'll get that White Castle drive-through review. All right.
Okay.
Have a great show, Amber.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Remember President Biden's inauguration back in January of 2021? And there was our senator from Vermont, Bernie Sanders, sitting there in his Vermont winter coat with those outrageous, beautiful mittens. And the memes went crazy. Well, we talked to the creator of those mittens back then, Jen Ellis, and she has some news about those mittens that we talked to her the other day. Let's run that interview. We first met Jen Ellis back in February of 2021. By that time, she'd become a world famous person because of something she did for Bernie Sanders. It's a great story. So let's find out what she's up to these days. Hi, Jen.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. Good to have you back. And for those of my viewers who didn't see the first show you were on, which they can catch on YouTube if they go over to our YouTube channel, it was Inauguration Day 2021. And there was our Senator Bernie Sanders in his Vermont winter coat, sitting there by himself with some mittens. And it became a worldwide phenomenon meme. And we find out that those mittens came from you. So tell us that story about how Bernie got those mittens.
Sure. His daughter-in-law was the director of my daughter's preschool. So I was making mittens one holiday season for the preschool teachers, and I made an extra pair for him. And this was back in, I think, 2016. So it was kind of a long time ago. And I've never met Bernie. I'd love to, but I just like him. And I think that he's always on the right side of, he's
the left side.
The left side, right. He's the side that I agree on. It's the left. But also in my mind, like the correct as in right.
Yes.
Yes. So he's someone I admire, and he liked the mittens and wore them. And the whole thing that happened on Inauguration Day was a complete surprise to both of us. Neither of us would have ever thought that would have happened. But that is what happened. And so all kinds of things happened as a result of that, including somewhere around 22,000 people reached out to me on email and through Twitter and Facebook asking for mittens. And I am a school teacher and I can't make that many mittens. So I partnered with the Vermont Teddy Bear Company. And they're making the mittens now, and they have been for over a year. And it's just a wonderful partnership.
Is it special material? What do you make the mittens out of?
The mittens that are made out of repurposed wool sweaters. So sweaters that have been discarded for whatever reason. Either they were sent through the wash and they're too stiff to wear, or they shrunk, or they have a hole, or a moth got them, or they were stained and someone doesn't want to wash them. So Vermont Teddy Bear washes all of the sweaters and shrinks them and felts them. And that's the process of washing in hot water. It sort of binds the fibers together. And then they make the mittens using the pattern that I used to make Bernie's mittens. And they line them with fleece. So they're really soft, super warm.
I know a few people who have gotten your mittens personally from you because you donated a few to some auctions, and they definitely wanted them. Now, you made a deal with Vermont Teddy Bear Company that when they sold a pair of mittens, some money went back to the community. Tell us how that started.
Yeah, I mean, when this happened, I didn't want to go into the mitten making business because I already had a job, and also that that didn't interest me, But I kind of felt like that the mittens should benefit everybody. It shouldn't just be like a cash cow for any one person or any one company. And so I requested, and Vermont Teddy Bear, they were amazing. They were like, absolutely, we 100% agree with you that a portion of the sales will always go to charity, a generous portion. And so the first charity was Make-A-Wish Vermont, and that was an organization they already had a connection with. So it was a super easy choice, and they were great. We worked with them for a year, and then we decided that it'd be great to spread the wealth around because it's a lot of money. It ended up this year being, I think it was like $32,000 or something like that. It's just a ton of money. And for a lot of, local nonprofits, that's just huge. I mean, their staff doesn't have to run an extra fundraiser, right? Like they can, it's just, it really could make a difference.
So how many mittens does that work out to be? How many did you sell last year?
Well, I can't tell you exactly how many, partly because now that I've told you how much money it was, I've promised not to disclose the percentage that they're donating to charity because that's just private information.
But $32,000, that's a lot of mittens.
That is a lot of mittens, yes. And yeah, so they have been really busy. They created 10 new jobs, which I'm really proud of. I'm proud that they did that for Vermonters, and a lot of those jobs went to new Americans who really needed great places to work, and they're full-time jobs with benefits and well above the minimum wage. It's just like, it's such a win for so many people. And so I requested that we switch the nonprofit to a new one for the second year. And we don't have a plan for anything beyond this. We're just sort of winging it as we go. But I have a true love for Outright Vermont. And so I requested that we switch it to Outright Vermont. And we announced that maybe a week and a half ago, this new partnership with Outright. And they're incredibly excited. I mean,
I bet.
I think the last time we were on your show, it was with Dana from Outright.
Yes, it was.
I donated a pair of mittens to them, and they ran an enormously successful auction. And in the end, the auction snowballed into, they ended up getting something like $60,000 from that, because the person who won them donated them back, and then the same person who won them made a match grant, and then people continued to contribute. So they added an entire new week to their summer camp, which it serves so many LGBTQIA+ kids at a time when queer kids really need that sort of outlet. And so they went from 1 week to 2 weeks last year. And this year they also have 2 weeks. And I knew that if we gave the money to them, they would do great things with it. So I'm so excited to see what happens. And it's also really beautiful to see Vermont Teddy Bear and Outright come together again. Like they've worked together in the past, and they're lovely partners together. It's just a great partnership because Outright serves tons of kids, and so does Vermont Teddy Bear. It's just a wonderful partnership.
So tell us a little bit more about the mission of Outright. They've been around for, close to 30 years, I believe. It was one of the first youth organizations in the country. But to tell me more about Outright Vermont.
Outright runs youth groups for LGBTQIA plus kids. They also do a lot of support groups for families, and they do education in our community. They're just like an awesome organization. They reach so many kids in Vermont, and they do the summer camp thing, which is, I think, that's an amazing thing for kids to have the ability to go to summer camp with other queer kids and see other kids who look like them and have the same struggles that they have. And they also run a transgender and transitioning support group. It's just a great organization. Also, the people who work there are fabulous people who are so invested in our community and in Vermont and in social justice. It's just, I've seen them come and speak at my school, and they did a staff training. They've done more than one staff training, and it's very cool to see my colleagues responding to them. You know, as a lesbian, I feel like sometimes I'm in the position of doing some education. It's really nice when someone else comes in and takes that off my shoulders and is like, actually, you know, I'm not the only one talking about this. This is actually, you know, goes beyond me, and the whole queer community would appreciate X, Y, and Z.
Oh, how exciting. How very, very nice. How much do the mittens cost?
I think they're around $50 at Vermont Teddy Bear. And, you know, and a portion of that will always go to charity, and it's made from repurposed materials. They have kept that. I mean, they could go out and just find material and make the mittens, mass produce them, but they haven't. They've kept it, you know, with the original mission of diverting materials from the landfill. And they've gone out of their way to make this, you know, something that's good for the earth and good for the environment and good for our community. You can go to Vermont Teddy Bear and just pick a pair from their store. They have an awesome mural of Bernie too, sitting there with his mittens. And you can take a picture with the mural of Bernie, which is fun. Or you can order them online, and online you can choose sort of from a color palette, but what you get is a surprise. So if you're feeling a little whimsical, you can go for that surprise. And a lot of people have. It's really fun. People have been, you know, texting me, sending me messages on Twitter and Facebook, like, I got mittens from Vermont Teddy Bear. It's been exciting.
Are you still making some for your friends?
I make limited. You know, mostly I make them for charity, honestly. I am still supporting, like I have a pair going to Camp Tecumseh this summer for their auction, and I gave a pair to the Pride Center for their auction. Mostly Vermont companies, if they reach out to me, I'm happy to partner with them on mitten related products or on fundraisers. It's easy for me to make a pair of mittens, and that's what I want to do. I've made them for my friends, but most of my friends already have them, honestly.
Well, it must be very durable. If Bernie got his in 2016 and he was still wearing them 5 years later. So that's exciting.
Yeah,
I see a children's book.
He hasn't lost them.
Yeah, at least one of them.
I always lose a mitten here or there, and he's just really great at keeping track of them, apparently.
You know, I see a children's book about Bernie's mittens. You know, I think you ought to look into that. You know, bring in a teddy bear or two, and
you know, I pitched a children's book. I had an agent, and I pitched a children's book. It didn't really gain much traction, but I have a memoir that I've written about the experience, and also about crafting and healing through crafting and the creative process. And there's all kinds of things, that my coming out story and our struggles to get pregnant and have children as a lesbian couple, and some of the homophobia we experienced in the medical community, and how after all of these things, I always returned to crafting and creativity as a way to, to relax and to heal and to center myself. And that's been a reason why I enjoy making mittens. It's something relaxing and calming to do at the end of the day. And so my book is about that. It tells many stories from my life, and also the whole Bernie's mitten stories, which is beyond measure the most bizarre thing that's ever happened to me. Because, after this happened, people started impersonating me online. There was a whole legal proceeding for, the state of Vermont prosecuted these people for impersonating me. Yeah, I mean, all kinds of crazy things happened. And so I wrote a book about it, and a few different publishers are looking at it right now. I don't know what's going to exactly happen with it. I hope it'll get published within the next.
Oh, I'm sure someone's going to do that, because it's a great story. But I'm looking for a kid's book. Bernie the Bear. Have Bernie the Bear with mittens.
My kid's book that I wrote had Bernie the Bear in it. It was great. We'll see. Maybe after the memoir gets published, somebody will be like, "Hey, what about that kid's book?" And I'll be like, "I happen to have it written. If you want to take a look at it."
Well, Jen, when your book gets published, make sure you come back and talk to us about it, because you have so many great stories to tell, and we want to hear them. So thank you so much, Jen.
It was great to see you. Take care.
Bye-bye. Oh, wow. Someone impersonating. I wonder if anybody's out there impersonating me. That would be fun to see. If you are, send me a clip. Thank you, Jen, and we'll talk to her again soon. Isn't that cool? Vermont Teddy Bear, those mittens, all that money that was raised, and it goes to a great cause, Outright Vermont. All right, so you've seen him in the past couple shows. His name's Duane Scott Cerny, and he likes to collect things. And this week, let's see what he's showing off.
What's in your attic?
Hey, this is my new book, Vintage Confidential, Retro Rattled, Tales Tattled. Follow-up to Selling Dead People's Things. And we're going to do an unboxing video today that relates very directly to this book. So, off goes the book. And we're going to open up this box. What is in here? We're going to find out. And of course, I always use the dullest scissors you can find, because I find that makes it much more difficult when you're doing these things. Yep, see, that didn't work. Now, I intentionally do not use anything sharper because I bleed. We're going to go here and open up this side. This has all the excitement of watching an egg boil. First one. Now, there's a chapter in the book about a pair of brothers who collect games. And this, my friends, get one down there, pull the box out. Next is a copy of the Titanic Game. Yes, which I had as a kid, and they had as a kid, and this looks like it's pretty sealed up here too. I have to be careful. A little bit of tape. There's tape on each side. Now, for all the people who think, well, this is really bad taste, the idea of this game is that you have to save yourself so you can save others. If you think about it, that's a pretty good rule in life. Boom. So we have Titanic. We have the Atlantic. And if we do this right, it's only been 40 years since I had it. There, my friends, is the ship. And with the toss of the dice, you collect food or supplies, and you save other people as the ship slowly sinks with the roll of the dice. And that, my friend, is the Titanic Game.
What's in your attic?
Thank you, Duane Scott Cerny. I can't wait to what you bring us the next time. All right, so let's bring Russell back in.
Hey, Amber, great show. So
Yeah, it is
so
a lot
far.
of.
I mean,
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and we
Jen
still
Ellis
have
is
Rusty
amazing.
Pete. And we still have Rusty Pete, our tribute to Clela Rorex, Rocco, and who knows what else you're going to
Sweaty
throw
balls. Oh, just lots to come. So I hope everybody enjoys it. But I do want to remind you that what keeps all that stuff on the air is Venmo, and your bustiers using Venmo at RJD Pro to support us. So if you can, please help us out. And we thank you very, very much for your support. It is really important to keeping the show going. So, and there is always one other way that you can do that, and that's by supporting one of our sponsors.
Hey, it's Lucy Bell. Have you visited the Amber Live store to get your own amazing Amber Live merch? Just visit amberlive.tv and you can see all the incredible items we have for you. Regular coffee mugs, large coffee mugs, and even magic coffee mugs. T-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, tote bags, and even beach towels. Y'all, they make great gifts for your friends. I've got mine. Just visit the Amber store at amberlive.tv and order yours today.
Thanks, Lucy Bell. And we're going to get you back in that kitchen one of these days. Now, I don't know if you remember, but 2 years ago, we were still only like in 3-4 months of the pandemic. And I thought it was my civic and patriotic duty to go downtown and make sure everyone wore masks. And this is the news report from Jack Thurston.
Now to a friendly reminder that it may be a holiday, but COVID-19 does not take a break. Let's take you out to Burlington, Vermont, where shoppers and diners heard a public health message from one of Burlington's most familiar drag performers.
2, 4, 6, 8. I don't want to intubate. Our numbers are really low here in Vermont, but I want to keep them low. And I just want to keep reminding people, please wear a mask. Mask it or casket, it's up to you. This is not a simple flu. I hope that when I walk by someone and they see me or they hear me, that they reach in their pocket and go, yeah, I should have it on. You know, it's not that bad.
Yeah, we got our masks.
All right, thank you. We've got a lot of visitors in town this weekend, and who knows where they're from and what they're bringing with them. And then we've got a lot of people who went out of town, and when they come back, what are they going to bring with them? So please, please, please just wear a mask. It's not that hard. You can wear fun ones. You can wear serious ones. Just cover your face. Keep our numbers low here in Vermont, please. It's just to remind others to be nice. You know, it's not for me. It's for you. It's for others. Keep our numbers way, way low. Thank you for wearing masks. Thank you for wearing a mask, Uncle Sam. You're very welcome. Happy Independence Day, everybody. You never know who's going to approach you or who's coming up from behind you, or if you turn a corner, who's going to be right there. So just wear a mask.
I don't know about you, but there's sometimes I just want to listen to some good old fun music. And you know what I do? I listen to some pure peen.
Are you ready to rock, dude? Get ready for the music experience of the century with Pure Peen. Now that's what I call peen.
Back on my lawn. on, so I drop kicked that fucker in the fucking throat.
Rusty Peen sings the timeless hits in one awesome collection.
Wash that fucker out.
With these timeless classics, you'll be singing them at your next trailer park bonfire.
And the horse said, dude, the odds are 50 to 1. I'm a long shot, but you should fucking take it, bud. The lotion in the basket, Put the lotion.
Dude, these classics are timeless. Visit amberlive.tv to download your copy. Now with exclusive bonus tracks from the Amber Live Show.
I'm Rusty Peen, and I do some of my best thinking when I've been drinking. And there is nowhere to go.
Order yours today. Thank you, Rusty. Now, Clela Rorex was our guest on February 5th, 2021, and it was one of her final interviews. She passed away just this past June on the 19th. Her obituary appeared in the New York Times, the Washington Post, and many other publications. Clela Rorex was born in Denver on July 23, 1943. Her mother was a school teacher and a dance instructor. Her father, who lost his leg saving his father's life in a mining accident, served for 30 years as clerk of Routt County in Colorado. The couple had adopted Rorex when she was a baby. Her son attributed her sensitivity to those who struggle in life, in part to her experience as an adoptee, as well as to the difficulties she saw her father face because of his disability. Ms. Rorex received a bachelor's degree from the University of Colorado in Boulder in 1973. In 1974, she was elected county clerk for Boulder County. Now, Ms. Rorex said that when she first granted a same-sex marriage license in 1975, she did not know anyone who was openly gay. She said she simply saw the petition as a matter of legal rights, not unlike the ones she fought for on behalf of women as a feminist. It didn't take long for the Colorado Attorney General to declare that state law did not permit the issuance of same-sex marriage licenses. Clela realized that she soon would be recalled and left her position as county clerk before her term expired. It was a question of, am I going to be the one to take away such a right if this right exists? Ms. Rorex said in a 2015 interview, and I could never have lived with that. Well, here is that interview from February 2021 with this amazing person. Picture it, Boulder, Colorado, 1975. People were wearing mood rings and playing with a Rubik's Cube, and they had pet rocks and were wearing leisure suits. The song of the year was Love Will Keep Us Together from Captain and Tennille. Movies that were out were One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and Jaws. Gerald Ford was president, and Saturday Night Live, The Jeffersons, Starsky and Hutch, and Phyllis were top TV shows. That was 1975. Someone else who was active in 1975 was our next guest, Clela Rorex. Clela, come on in. Hi there, Clela.
Hi, Amber.
Hi there. So, all right, 1975. What were you doing in 1975?
I think I wore a mood ring for one thing. In 1975, I was sworn in early in January as the Boulder County Clerk and Recorder. I ran in 1974, and honestly, I credit Nixon with my election and all the other Democrats in Boulder County at that time, because we had a sweep finally, and Democrats still hold the courthouse.
Okay, so what had you been doing? Is that you?
Yeah, believe it or not.
Oh my goodness, that's adorable. So what were you doing before you became clerk recorder?
Well, I was a secretary / administrative assistant up at the University of Colorado. And I was in the process. I had just gotten divorced, single parent. And I was a feminist of the second wave feminist group. And so consciousness raising groups were a huge inspiration for me to give me courage and to make change in my own personal life.
And so you decided to run for public office.
The reason I did was because I went to a meeting where the Democratic Party was talking about who would replace the current clerk who'd been there 30 years and retiring. And they said that it had to be a man, a male candidate. And I was so pissed off about it. I went back to my consciousness raising group, and they said, well, if you feel that way about it, why don't you run? And since my father had served in Routt County over by Steamboat, Colorado for 30 years as a county clerk, I thought, well, by osmosis, I surely know some things, right? With that, I ran.
All right. So I'm sorry, I was doing some math. Back in 1975, I was 19 years old. You couldn't have been much older than that.
I was 31.
Okay. Well, girl, you're looking good. All right. So you're clerk, and then something happened that put you on the map. What was that?
Well, it didn't take long. Around the first part of March, these two guys came in together and asked for a marriage license. They were from Colorado Springs, which is still a very, very, very conservative town.
Yes.
They went to the clerk there to ask for a marriage license. And she said, well, we don't do that kind of thing here, but go to Boulder. Boulder already had a reputation. And so that's how I found them on my doorstep. And they had a specific reason for wanting to be married. They wanted to qualify for the Homestead Act and get some land.
All right. So, I mean, that wasn't legal or practiced anywhere else, was it?
Not to my knowledge. I didn't immediately say yes to them. In fact, I asked our district attorney to give me a legal opinion. And as it turns out, the Colorado marriage law at that time did not specify that marriage had to be specifically between a man and a woman. It just was mute on the subject. And so the district attorney said that it was up to me. He said, it's your decision. That was a heavy load. But I guess while I was waiting for his opinion, in retrospect, I think about that. And I think I always knew what decision I would make, that I would say yes.
So by saying yes, you gave them the license. Did they have to do anything else to get officially married?
Well, yes, they had to go get married by a minister. In those days, it was usually, somebody in the church that performed weddings.
Uh-huh. Is that the couple that we just saw?
Yes.
So what were the repercussions?
All hell broke loose. I think about how I would have probably not survived it if social media had been a factor in those days. I got plenty of hate mail as it was, hate calls. And in fact, an entire church in the community that I currently live in wrote letters to me, more than one church. And pastors preached against me, said I was creating a Sodom and Gomorrah in Boulder. Yeah, that was one of the biggest arguments, Sodom and Gomorrah. And so that was how the reaction was. And because it was so severe, I also became very much in disfavor with my own political party, the Democrats. They were furious that I did something like this. But even though they talked big about overturning those licenses or passing legislation that would overturn it, they were too cowardly, really, to stick their neck out and do it. They thought it would just go away, perhaps. But I continued to issue licenses, 6 altogether. And then the state attorney general issued an opinion that perhaps my licenses would be disingenuous to gay couples, making them think they had rights that they really didn't have. And so at that point, my district attorney suggested that I stop, and I did.
So what happened to those 6 couples?
Well, I have a friend that managed to track most of them down a few years ago. A number of them have passed away. One couple actually had a formal legal action taken to annul their marriage. And I didn't know that at the time, but the judge validated those licenses by the annulment. The fifth couple is the couple that I finally, years later, got to meet and befriend, and they befriended me, I should say. They were making a film and about their life, 12 years of their life together. They were together for more than 40 years, and they had been together for a number of years when they came to get a license. They saw me made fun of basically on the Johnny Carson show. And with that, they thought, this is all that's standing against us for Tony, who's Australian. The couple were Tony Sullivan and Richard Adams. Tony was Australian, and he was going to be deported. Oh. So they wanted the license to fight immigration, and they did a great service to the LGBT community because they took their case all the way up to circuit court in California. And of course, they were denied. Tony was deported by none other than Judge Kennedy, who later became Justice Kennedy in the Supreme Court. And as you know, in 2015, when the court ruled for same-gender marriage, Justice Kennedy was a yes vote. So perhaps he was thinking of Tony and Richard and the vote that we had taken so many years ago.
So, Clela, you were honored, or your actions were honored a few years ago. Well, tell me about that.
Well, let's see. Maybe you're thinking about our local Out Boulder group, who a few years ago, several years ago now, created an award to give each year to, it was called Allies in Action. And so every year they give this award to an ally who has just been there as an activist, or been there working behind the scenes to support the LGBTQ community. And maybe that's what you're talking about.
Well, I know the plaque was erected at your...
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Oh, okay. That was more recent, really. Yes, the National Historic Society, there it is, gave the old courthouse where my office was positioned National Historic designation based on those marriage licenses. And in fact, the Colorado History Society is at this moment trying to upgrade that recognition to landmark status. So we will see. But the plaque was created by the Boulder County Commissioners. And I was hesitant about this whole thing, but I was so glad that they went ahead and did it, because the plaque was it's very nice. And it's right on the outside at the front of the courthouse. And that night when they had a unveiling, and so many people showed up, and I just was so grateful and so moved that they showed up for this unveiling of that plaque. And I thought that the best thing that plaque really could do is maybe when young people pass by it, they will see that Boulder County is there to think about them and to support them. And that's just one of the things that I hope for. I hope the message is.
Clela, my friends will find this hard to believe, but I'm almost speechless. I just love you, love your story. Thank you. So, Clela, I forgot to ask you something. Someone told me a story about you and a horse.
Let's hear that story.
Well, after I issued a couple of licenses, this guy showed up at the courthouse, Roz Howard, and he had his horse Dolly with him. And I looked out my window, I could see this happening, and I thought, oh my God, the media was all over the place. He'd set this up. So he came in to get a license for him and Dolly, and he said, if a man can marry a man, woman can marry a woman, why can't a tired old cowboy marry his favorite horse, Dolly? So I just went through the motions of beginning to write out the license for him, not having any idea what I would do. And finally, I came to the question on age, Dolly's age. She was only 8, I think he said. And I just put my pen down and said, well, I'm sorry, but she's not old enough to get married without.
I didn't know I could love you more, Clela. I did. But,
okay.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you.
Very nice to talk to you. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Chills, almost tears, just what it took back in 1975 to do that. Clela, thank you. And now for something totally different. One thing we did last year, along with our good friend Jack Quint, was develop our first music video. And since then, that music video has been entered in 3 film festivals. You know what I'm talking about. Here it is, Sweaty Balls.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beaver Pond Players proudly present Sweaty Balls.
Balls, 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 sweaty balls, 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 sweaty.
We love to walk the streets of town on hot and muggy nights. Our faces never with a frown, those glorious summer sights. For when the air is sticky, it affects men old and young. For things start turning quickly, and all appear to be hung. It's a very manly condition, one that we so admire. An almost certain aspiration that sets our loins on fire. Balls,
balls, sweaty
balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls. I love the man who winds his stance, his scrotum isn't tight. I get to see his balls dance to the left and to the right. With his hands inside his pockets, I'll watch him tug and tug. It's almost like he's scratching at a bug. The scratch may start above the belt, but lower down the itch is felt. When they swing both to and fro, it's proof he's going commando. Balls.
sweaty
balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls. The problem isn't shrinkage, the opposite is true. Osmosis is so present, I took biology too. The small ones get humongous, the bigger ones get grand. If they'd only stop to let us, we'd give them all a hand. So that's our sordid story, we swear it all is true. So when you go out walking, we'll be looking out for you and your balls.
sweaty
balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls, sweaty balls, sweaty balls. How we love those sweaty balls.
That's balls, folks.
I still laugh at that. And I hope you do too. My hope is that someday Bette Midler is going to sing that. Anybody out there, can you help me? When I think of sweaty balls, there's one guy I'm always thinking about, and that's Rocco Zamboni. Come on in, Rocco.
Hey, this is Rocco. I'm sitting here eating my ramen and shrimp while watching Stranger Things. And by Stranger Things, I don't mean Amber LeMay in the dressing room. I'm talking about that TV show that's got things in the upside down and whatnot. It's really weird. But anyway, speaking of upside down, I want to say to everybody out there, happy 4th of July, because, people have fought and died for this country, and, so people got the rights to take away, birth control and all that shit. I don't have much to say about it except, hey, McCarthy, McConnell, all you other assholes, get your hands off my woman. You ain't got no right to say, you can't abort this thing. Because you know what? Some of us rely on that shit. You know how expensive condoms are? Come on. So, what it comes down to is I'm just here to say, America, you got a lot of work ahead of you. I don't care how many years you've been around. You're still screwing up. So some of you better get your shit together. Otherwise, Rocco's got to get off his couch, put down his ramen, stop watching the television because I enjoy it so much. And I'm going to have to do something about it. And I'm not talking marching on a street corner. I'm talking about going up to the Capitol and kicking some ass. Because as an American, I think I got the right to do that. It's the right to assemble, right? I'm going to assemble my foot up your ass. So, anyway, this is Rocco saying it's a simple little message of happy 4th of July. I hope you eat some hot dogs and some hamburgers, or if you're lucky enough, some lobster or king crab. Or if you're a vegan, go ahead and eat a bean burger or whatever crap you guys eat. What the hell are you thinking? Eat an animal. Makes you a man or a woman, So I'm very low key. I'm about to say goodbye because I'm going to watch some more Stranger Things. Again, not Amber in the nude, because that's the strangest goddamn thing you could imagine. Holy crap.
Well, I hope you've had a great, safe holiday weekend and you're out there looking out for each other, because we all could use some support these days. Until next week, this is Amber LeMay. Bye-bye.
Wow, it's almost the 4th of July. Picnics, parades, and fireworks.
And all the Americana you can force down your throat.
Oh, Bug, you would sit through a 4-day Amber Live marathon to watch fireworks.
Damn right I would.